Hello there, Site-42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation. And welcome to another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site-42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site-42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done for over a year and 3 months and counting, because that's right, the daily stream streak remains strong. I'm here to open my office doors to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview. Perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. Either way, we are here for the next approximately 2 to 3 hours. We'll see how much zest, zeal, and energy the chat has today. 2 to 3 hours is about our estimation. But before I begin today's standard stream subject, allow me to start with a little bit of housekeeping. First and foremost, Intern Hunter Mark, congratulations on being the #1 most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e., congratulations on being first chatter. Alongside you now, Amber, Little Shadow 1, 053, The Kid, Senior Researcher Alex, Legendary Doge, Creepypasta George Harrison, Aoki, Silent Follower, Chest Factory, America. Everyone who I have just named, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here as members of Site-42 on YouTube. We appreciate your membership and your service. Furthermore, interns, You Look Amazing, Accolade, Hama, Bekensu, Crystal, Kayuri, SCP-131, Taylor, Musical Sand, Dark Scar, Sealman, Griffith, April Andrews, and Wolf Flame. All of you interns, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here today on time and just for being you. Now, a reminder, today's stream is sponsored. Today's stream is sponsored by the upcoming attendance I will be having at MetroCon Tampa. Not this coming weekend, but next weekend, I will be in Tampa, Florida at MetroCon, hosting 2 panels, one on Friday, one on Saturday, answering your questions about the SCP Foundation live. There will be Q&A. The stream will be broadcast to YouTube. It will be our daily stream for the day. And also in attendance will be friend of the channel Toad King Studios, giving away a special edition Dr. Sherman Site-42 SCP logo sticker, as well as selling his own SCP stickers on site. So if you want some dope, free, and or extra paid for merch, make sure to join us over at the channel. Furthermore, Aoki, I will congratulate you on being the first to notice. As of yesterday, I have received a bulk order of new emotes for Site-42 members. New members of Site-42 on YouTube will get access to these emojis from Junior Researcher Sally. Right now, we have access to Dr. Clef, Dr. Chair, that horrible abomination of an entity sneaking around a corner being menacing, Desk in all of Desk's glory, and a peanut. There are also another 36 SCP emotes available, but YouTube limits you on how many emotes you can add based on how many members you have. This is why we are doing the channel drive to get up to 5,000 members, so we can unlock more and more emote slots for the dope emotes that Junior Researcher Sally has given us. And so, members, please enjoy your emotes. I know it is very sad. Here on this screen, I am seeing that you are now white names, whereas non-members are gray names. That's very confusing. So now, we've always been talking about the white names as being non-members. Now the white names are members. Thanks, YouTube, for making this even more confusing. It's even more confusing because my other screen here has you guys as green names still. So members are green over here, and members are white here. Now, non-members are still gray names, regardless. So the gray names are gray names regardless. Members, you are now either white names or green names. YouTube, stop changing things on me. You are doing a bad job. But suffice it to say, please enjoy the first 5 of the Junior Researcher Sally emotes. And as we continue to grow our membership roster, I will be able to add more and more of them. We have 36 in the holster, so it's going to be a while before I run out. Now, today's stream subject, part 1. In case you haven't seen today's bonus video, I was at a convention this past weekend called Open Sauce. For those of you who are not aware, Open Sauce is a maker convention. Whether you're a roboticist, a technologist, an engineer, or a cosplayer, content creator, if you make things, Open Sauce is a convention for you. And there I met multiple excellent creators of all kinds. I introduced many people to the SCP Foundation who didn't know about it and said, hey, do you want to maybe make some stuff in the SCP sphere? I think you'd like it. Furthermore, there were also plenty of SCP Foundation fans who I encountered there. Excellent. I had to do less work that way. But one panel that I specifically made it a point to go to as a representative of the SCP community is a panel called, yup, it's an AI panel, and it was a conversation between 2 pro-AI and 2 anti-AI people. And they were debating AI art, AI use in filmmaking tools. When is it okay to use AI? When is it absolutely not okay to use AI? It was a very spirited debate, and since I went there as a VIP, I was able to go behind the scenes and meet and greet with the people on the panel. And I brought to them the concerns of the SCP Foundation community, because on the pataphysical narrative level above us, where I was incognito as my author, regular Sherm, the SCP Foundation is an arts community. And that arts community would be very, bummed if their hobby got taken over by robots so they couldn't make art anymore. And so while I was telling them about this concern of ours as a representative of the SCP community, one of the pro-AI voices kind of got this look on his face. And he went, oh, trust me, I am well familiar with the SCP Foundation, thank you. You guys screwed up a whole bunch of our models in our data sets. Okay, I'm listening. What do you mean, AI person? Apparently, in scraping the SCP database, now, we already know that Google has a problem when it scrapes the SCP database because SCP documents are in-universe, in character. So a famous SCP like 173, Google AI can tell you, oh, SCP-173 is a story about this or that. It was written on blank. But for less prominent articles that don't really have popular media talking about them, the only data the AI has is the in-universe document that talks about it as if it's real. And since AIs don't think, they consider the document to just be factual. And so the Google AI will talk about the SCP as if it is a real phenomena, which is very funny. Well, furthering that mistake, the datasets that scraped the SCP Wiki, especially AIs you are supposed to have conversations with, AIs like role-playing AIs or chatbots, they would scrape the 20,000 plus stories of the SCP database, and over time, they would accidentally start talking like an SCP LARPer. It didn't matter how much you conversed with the chatbot, it would eventually start telling you about redactions and data expunged, and telling you all this techno jargon that had nothing to do with what you were talking about, but the SCP had filled the dataset so much that it infected, like an info hazard in real life. And so multiple times, the developers of these chatbots had to go and reset the datasets and omit the SCP wiki. That way, their chatbots would not become infected with our info hazards. And so I just thought that was a very fun subject for the SCP community to know, that we are essentially the nightshade of text. If you're unfamiliar, Nightshade is an anti-AI way to use your photos that it messes up Gen AI photo sets. So if you put a Nightshade AI photo in your photo set, it screws everything up. It turns out the SCP Wiki is the Nightshade of text, and it's just messing up their data sets. So I figured that would be a fun thing to spread. It's today's bonus video, but of course the algorithm is going to do as it does, so I wanted to make sure you heard about it here as well. Now, I'm going to catch up on the donos that have come in before we move on to today's Part B stream subject, after which we will have general Q&A. Starting by scrolling to the top. ARG M Sands, thank you for sending a doubloon to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will spend it wisely. Alki, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they are proud to be a 1-star team for the time being. Patrick, thank you for sending a clapping seal to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure the visit from SCP-8000 was quite good for their positivity. Patrick, also, thank you for sending an UNC alert to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will be very well on the lookout for said UNC now that you have alerted them. Patrick, thank you for sending a flow state to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will lock in and find their zen. Patrick, thank you for sending 3 flowers to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they found them very pretty. Patrick, also thank you for sending 2 doubloons to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will spend them wisely. ARG M Sands, thank you for sending a promotion to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. If you got that membership and you are now a level 1 researcher instead of an intern, make sure to thank ARG Sands for their generosity. And one more step toward unlocking the next Site-42 emote, which I believe is 20 memberships away, if I remember correctly. 20 memberships to gaining the next Site-42 emote. Anomalous Hodge, thank you for sending a stay hydrated to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. Chat, make sure you stay hydrated. Alright. Who asked that? Intern Digideer, yes. Questions about SCPs are allowed. I don't know the whole database by heart, but I will do my best to answer as I can. What are you drinking? I am drinking melon-flavored water. Stay hydrated. Now, of course, I will make sure to answer your SCP questions, but before I do, before we get to general Q&A, we will be taking part in one This Is My JAMCON article. We are almost to the end, people. Almost to the end. Now, for those who have not been present for a JAMCON article before, let me educate you. This Is My JAMCON was an unofficial contest on the SCP Wiki approximately a month or 2 ago. The rules of the contest were that SCP authors traded song recommendations with each other, and then wrote articles about those songs, or based on those songs. My journey through This Is My JAMCON has been to A, read the articles, because there are about 27 of them. We've seen some very good ones, some ups and downs in the process, and also, if I can get very lucky, to guess the song that the article is based on before it tells me. Now, I've only succeeded in doing 2 or 3 of those, but that's mainly because a lot of them were about songs I never had a chance to guess because I didn't know them. So, I'm actually pretty proud of my 2 to 3. So today, we are reading number 25 out of the 27 articles. This is Unusual Incidents Unit File 1973-05. So today's reading is a UIU file. It is broken into 4, 7, 9 segments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read one segment, then return to some general Q&A, and we're going to go back and forth. Read a segment, Q&A. Read a segment, Q&A. Until we finish the article. So, first phase. Now, as a UIU file, this has a slightly different format from the rest of the SCP database. Let me show you. This is the format of the main page and logo. We're going through lists of texts of varying length, but nothing too terribly long. The article in itself, by combination, comes out pretty fast. But that is where that'll start. Alright, so let me begin by reading Section 1. And Section 2. The title page doesn't have many words. So, the Unusual Incidents Unit. Electronic copy below as per Federal Records Act. UIU File 1973-05. Codename Perfect Day. Summary. A powdery substance that, when ingested or snorted, induces vivid hallucinations of an alternative reality lacking enforced normalcy. Interesting. That is the initial report. Let's move on to the section called Interjection. On April 2nd, 1974, the UIU began trials with UIU File 1973-05. Throughout the year, approximately $500 to $1,000 were offered in incentives for citizens both aware and unaware of the anomalous who are willing to volunteer. Select testimonies from said volunteers are available below. Name: Mark Yarrow. Experience: I was strapped to this bed, all these little screens and machines around me. At first I tried to shout for help, but there was this lump in my throat and it hurt like shit, so that put an end to my screaming. Some small part in the back of my brain still remembered this was just a trip, so I was just sitting there, expecting to wake up. There was a sound of raindrops in the distance. Didn't pay it mind, until, that is, it gets closer, and I realize what it is. Footsteps. I tense up. Everyone thinks they've gotten over their fear of the dark, that is, only when they're in the light. When we're really back in the proper dark alone, that's when our true selves come back. Little kids scared of monsters. And whatever was slinking towards my door was some real Scooby-Doo, I figured. The door creaked open. I held my breath, and all I had built up in my mind turned out to be a little old lady. I yelped in relief, but was met with sharp pain from my throat. She was holding some sort of bird, and I kid you not, it burst into flame. Now, some sort of bird is a link that links to SCP-8002, codename Maslow's Fire, for reference. I think it could sense my pain. All of a sudden, that lump I was talking about, it disappeared. No sooner than I could thank the lady, she touches a rune on the wall. Then it's a sunny day in a park. A hologram? The lady hands me tea. It tasted like heaven. And she asks me how I'm feeling. I tell her I'm peachy, and she giggles. She's a very earnest woman, never talks down to you, and has got a proper sense of humor, too. We must have spent hours, the two of us, just talking, because before I knew it, it was dark again. Bam! Back in reality, just like that. Notes. Yarrow would pass away from throat cancer on September 2nd, 1975. So, this anomalous drug transported his cognizance into a universe where his cancer was removed by some sort of anomaly. Interesting. The next two sections are pretty short, so I'll read those together. So I'm going to return to chat for some general Q&A with the Containment Hazard Assessment team for a minute. Okay. Looking at the chat right now, you look amazing as well as the rest of the chat. Please be aware that even though members are immune from slow mode in the chat, meaning that you are not limited in how much you post, please be responsible with that ability and do not spam the chat. This is a professional organization after all, and it makes the chat far too difficult to go through and actually answer questions. This is your warning. Please be aware of the rules. I know that right now, Desk is having a varnish and therefore is not present to moderate, so be on your best behavior, otherwise when Desk returns, you might get to see the pain of those mimic teeth. Pulling up the chat proper here. Okay. Falcon, thank you for sending 5 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They are now a 1-star team again, but with 1 added prestige rank. Good work, Containment Hazard Assessment team. I look forward to you getting to 5 stars. Computer Guy, thank you for your 1-year anniversary as a level 1 researcher here at Psych 42. We appreciate your annual membership and service to the cause. Yes, the info hazard is actually an info hazard. You know, it do be that way sometimes. Intern Marie, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Please grab yourself a piece of honeyed toast on your way past the commissary. Say a blind person went to SCP-096's containment. They were able to make their way to 096 and hug him. Would he kill them? Well, first and foremost, Intern Marie, please remember that SCP-096 is not a him or a he. Like all anomalies in containment, all entities are objects, not people. SCP-096 is an it, not a he. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. Do not humanize the anomalies. We do not want to have empathy for a murderous object that may get loose and kill you. Now, the real answer to your question, Intern Marie, is how blind is the person actually? You see, legally blind is a legal term that refers to, okay, you are blind enough that you're not allowed to drive, but you can still see to a certain extent, at which point 096 would get your ass. But if you were completely blind, retinas detached from your brain, no image of 096 gets into your brain because all you see is darkness, then yes, then you would likely be fine hugging SCP-096, although it still would not hug you back. It's not sentient or sapient in that manner, at least in most canons. Hello, Dr. Sherman. Also, the faded pink looks amazing on you. Well, thank you, Intern Bertha. I appreciate it greatly. The on-site stylist does great work. And a fun fact for those of you who might not have noticed, but while I was at the Open Source Convention this past weekend, the badge that was available for VIPs, of which I was a beautiful strawberry milk pink, very in matching with my hair color. And so many people were just entertained that my hair matched the badge, a complete coincidence. Very excited for Fan Art Friday this week, Dr. Sherman. You should be ready. I'm looking forward to it. I can see... Well, I can't see anymore. I'm blinded by the flash bomb there. I see that the Fan Art Friday has 10 fan arts in it so far. And we've still got a couple days before Friday, so we'll see what the amount are when we arrive to Fan Art Friday. What level would the Mimic from Secret of the Mimic? Can Mimic voices adjust height to maybe around 9 feet? Is very fast. Also potentially homicidal. Safer Keter. So, Maramari. Intern Maramari. Reminder that these levels you're speaking of are called object classes. The proper terminology is important, proper protocols even more so. And the question I have for you is, does the mimic leave its location at any point? It seems to me that the mimic entity stays within its location within that game, at least from the small amount of lore I've gleaned. If it stays within its lair, I would assume it to be a safe class, if not a Euclid. But once it tried to flee, it would probably be upgraded to a Keter. Because remember, object class has nothing to do with danger, only with containment difficulty. A safe class anomaly, you can lock it in a box, and it will stay there. No need to do much of a crazy containment procedure. Euclid anomalies are harder to contain. We actually have to use some resources and pay attention to them. And Keter anomalies take high amount of resources and difficulty to contain. How would the SCP Foundation refer to a alien invasion, apocalypse, or AI takeover if that was to happen? Researcher, you look amazing. The idea is that worldwide events are very hard to keep secret and contained. In those cases, we are looking at a broken masquerade scenario. The masquerade, or the veil, is the code word that we, as well as the other anomalous groups of interest, use for keeping general civilization in the dark about the things that go bump in the night. So a worldwide invasion would breach secrecy, much like in SCP-7999, when a wormhole in the sky opened up and, well, the broken masquerade happened. Now everyone knows. So at that point, we would still try to save humanity, but secrecy would pretty much be in the bin at that point. Rain, thank you for sending 25 sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure the chat will enjoy cleaning up that litany of glitter bombs. Also, you look amazing, just so you know. That is the acceptable manner with which to have a glitter bomb fight with the chat, because those sparkles do not take up the entire chat. So if you did want to continue glitter bombing the chat with impunity, I would not mind the gift sparkles. They are the way to do that morally. The One True Author. Also, hi, Dr. Sherman. I'm new here, but a huge fan of your work. Good doctor. Welcome, intern author. Welcome to class. Yes, we are, in fact, having our daily briefing. It's good to have you aboard. And Artist Rain, since you are saying that's what you intended to do, thank you for being a good example for Researcher You Look Amazing, as well as the rest of the chat. Deadly Pedal, thank you for sending 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 5 plus 15 stars, so 20 stars, the Containment Hazard Assessment team. That means they get 4 prestige ranks, but are still a 1-star team. They may make it to 5 stars eventually. 100 stars, thank you for sending sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they appreciate yet another glitter bomb to clean up. One True Author, thank you for sending 5 doubloons to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will spend them wisely. Sophia Marie, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. Your single star has upped them to a 2-star team. So, they are now a 2-star ranked team for the time being. Who wins SCP-3812 or SCP-682? Intern to be, while SCP-3812 is overall more powerful, and that it can ascend pataphysical levels to reach. It can be its own author, it can be the author of its own author, etc. It also is highly schizophrenic, and mostly just wants to be left alone. So since 682 is not likely to attack 3812, probably they wouldn't mess with each other. So it would be a draw. 100 stars. Thank you for sending a 3-star amount to the chat, making them a 5-star team for the first time this stream. Congratulations, Containment Hazard Assessment Team, i.e. chat, for being a 5-star team, at least for the time being. If you could pick one of the SCPs you wrote to be in the movie, which one would it be? When you say the movie, Bored as Hell, which, do you mean the VHS movie that is being discussed? Do you mean an SCP movie of my making? Can you specify that for me, Bored as Hell? Accolade. Please refrain from caps lock shouting in the chat. If only because it causes the auto-moderator to catch your messages. And without a moderator on hand, I'm having to self-moderate this stream. Bored as Hell. You are talking about the VHS movie. Okay. So if I were to guess one of my articles to be in that movie, I think the most horrifying would be George the Chinchilla. Because, reminder, while George the Chinchilla, SCP-3086, is a mild-mannered, self-replicating meme, there are several universes where it gets to the internet and spreads and takes over the entire internet and turns it into iterations of itself, which is bad, and ending of the informational world. Furthermore, if it is leveled up by getting the forbidden knowledge, then it could take over minds and make everybody in the world into itself. Also horrifying. So 3086 would be a great short horror film to be an anthology. It starts like it's very friendly, and then it isn't for very long. Dr. Sherman, can I ask you a question? Well, Intern Carrington, there are 75 people here, and this is the first time I've seen your name. So yes, you can ask me a question, but the question is, will I see your name again? So I hope you have not wasted your shot, because yes, this briefing is for asking questions about operations here at Site-42 and the Greater SCP Foundation, but it depends if I can find you again. But, for now, we're going to take it back to the UIU file that we're reading. UIU file 1973-05. Reminder, this is a powdery substance that when ingested or snorted, makes you hallucinate a better universe. We're going to read 2 sections of this, and then return to general Q&A. So, Event Locale Preface, Section 3 of the document. Case File 1973-05. Report Author Agent Rory Coomhale. Date filed January 19th, 1973. Irregularity cross-reference. Paranarcotic. Addictive. Transdimensional hotspots. Alternative universe. Immigration. Wondertainment. Febris Pharmaceuticals. Emerald Cartel. 3 Portlands. Locale Summary Pre-event. A storage unit at Raven Self-Storage Facilities in Northampton, Massachusetts, rented by persons Adam Babinski, Brigida Dombrowski, Greta Gassa, Florian Globensky, and Gerald Jakowski. Individuals were all close friends who had emigrated from Poland in 1911, claiming to have been fleeing, quote, political persecution. That phrase links to SCP-001, codename Ralliston's proposal, for reference. They purchased the unit together under a joint account on November 16, 1970. Each individual would later go missing throughout October of 1971, and with insufficient evidence, their cases would be closed. Locale Summary During Event. On January 15, 1972, the storage unit began to leak green and red fluids into the surrounding area. The owner of the facilities contacted 911, who, after assessing the problem as anomalous, turned the call over to UIU operators. Agents Jason Hart and Rory Coomhale were dispatched to the scene, who recommended the unit be transported to the Heinrich Achtenberg UIU base in Boston. Locale Summary Post-event. Once in Boston, the doors to the unit were pried open, and Hart and Coomhale carried out an investigation of the inside. The walls were coated in a congealed substance, 1973-05, resembling the liquids found pooled outside of the unit in Northampton. When inside the unit, agents began to experience vivid hallucinations, primarily visions of miniature dragons. This links to SCP-7629 for reference. Sasquatches, and clowns. A large number of wooden cylindrical objects were found inside the unit, some of which had the same congealed substance smeared on the tips. 5 bodies were arranged in the back of the unit, which the agents dragged out further examination. The decedents were naked, dehydrated, and had avian, insectile, and mammalian wings growing from their backs. The bodies were ID matched with the owners of the unit. Of note was the age of the corpses, which appeared to belong to young adults when compared to the actual ages of the owners, the youngest of which, Florian Golbensky, would have been 76. So it possibly de-aged them? Either way, it looks like the UIU is doing a fair job researching this anomaly. I have to commend them. They're not usually so competent. Alright, we're going to read one more short section of this UIU document, and then I will return to the chat for more Q&A. This section is titled Interjection. So this is another incident regarding the substance. Name, Oda Kaba. Experience. I really have to talk about it? Alright. I woke up and, with all my effort, got out of bed. I brushed my teeth, changed, and right as I was about to make myself breakfast, I saw it had been made for me. So I was so caught up in the monotony of it all, I didn't realize who I woke up next to. It seemed like time had turned back. Darcy was with me again. The rest of my day? Oh, it was fine. There was this whole magic glimmer over everything, but my life, at least, was mostly similar. I still worked at McDonald's, can you believe that? Even in the most fantastical of worlds, Ronald McDonald is still king. The main difference was the types of people you'd see. I bumped into a giant spider on my way to work. And a giant spider here links to SCP-3629, codename Spinder, for reference. I thought it was going to eat me. And can you guess what its reaction was? It tried to hit on me. But that world was better. Since no matter what life threw at me, with my Darcy there, it was just a little bit easier. And that's what counted for the most. It's insane how one person can be that much to you. Notes. On July 21st, 1972, while Kaba was at work, UIU agents raided her and her partner Darcy Adelstein's apartment and arrested Adelstein under suspicion of being a covert GRU Division P operative. Note that links to the GRU Division P hub. Due to her past association with the now defunct anomalous left-wing groups. During this operation, Adelstein bit information erased due to ensure agent safety, while she was placing her into handcuffs, who then threw her to the ground in frustration and proceeded to fire several bullets into her head. Oh no, the federal government is doing unwarranted assaults and murders during operations. I am shocked by this information. Motherfucking UI useless. A cover story of a burglary gone wrong was relayed to Kaba by police later that night. Alright, with that, I am now returning to chat to continue the Q&A. King of Emojis. Dr. Sherman, if plans of your SCP movie is now canceled, do you think you ever would pitch an SCP series? Or just upload one to YouTube? So, King of Emojis, I'll have you know that, yes, while Keter Labs' SCP Container Breach the movie did fail to meet Kickstarter goals, meaning they are currently in process of finding alternative ways to fund, I did have a lot of conversations at Open Source with different filmmaking YouTubers on how to leverage the Site42 YouTube platform, 1 million subs on YouTube, 3 million on TikTok, as well as talking to cosplayers to get more costumers, engineers to make animatronics and horror things like that. I'm currently in the process of talking shop with them, creator to creator, in order to leverage our platform as a starting line to get funding for an SCP movie, and how to meet filmmakers nearby who would be useful for this. And so with hope, we will have the opportunity to build Site42 into a miniature film studio bit by bit over the coming years. Because yes, if we can't help other people make SCP projects, we will, damn near need to do it themselves. Or do it ourselves. Click Slicks, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Please grab yourself a submarine sandwich on your way past the commissary. If SCP-173 goes into SCP-914 and 1-to-1, are there two 173s? 173 doesn't, 914 doesn't normally duplicate things, intern Click Slicks. What 173, what 914 does is reconstitute them. So it would probably use the anomalous makeup of 173 to make something equally devastating to staff. DJ, thank you for sending a 100 to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I am sure they will keep it 100 at your urging. Dr. Sherman, where might I find a page in which to glitter bomb the site politely? You look amazing. Intern amazing. If you are on mobile, then down near the chat, there should be a little gift box. And the gift box is where you purchase the little gem coins on YouTube to send gifts. Gifts are an alternative form of donating as opposed to super stickers or super chats. So you purchase the gems to do the sparkles and other gifts. But I feel they are only available on mobile and only in certain territories. I'm not sure where you're located. You should look up YouTube GIFs, the help page, to make sure you understand how to find those. Firefly Lily, thank you for sending 5 sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I am sure they will appreciate cleaning up 5 more glitter bombs at your urging. T-Rose, thank you for sending your first donation of today's stream, and thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi, which, as we know, only takes 3% of your donation as a surcharge, while YouTube Super Chats take 30% of your donation just for YouTube. And if you're on an Apple device, then Apple gets 30% of your donation as well. So we desperately appreciate you making the effort to make your donation go further. Please grab yourself some chunky monkey ice cream on your way past the commissary. As a denizen of the Tumblr jungle, I want to let you know the majority of the user base, in my circles at least, are very anti-AI and believe the Foundation's stance on the subject would do numbers there. I really need to figure out how to get my multi-posting done in Tumblr as well. Just a quick checkup. Can I start to make that happen? I need to remember to do that after stream. Unless it works here. Can I... Yep, I'm getting flashbanged again. Wonderful for me. No, okay, this is not gonna... I'll have to do it after stream, but perhaps I can bust out the old Site42 Tumblr again. It's been a minute since I have visited Tumblr. Alright, returning to stream. I shared the latest short there. Thank you, T-Rose, for your service to the Site42 cause. And I'll do my best to make that easier for you. The app that I was just looking at, it's an app for content creators that allows you to multi-post to all devices, which makes the process so much quicker. So I'm going to see if it allows me to do Tumblr as well. I think it might. Intern Dragmeyer, thank you for sending a gold coin to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I'm sure they'll appreciate another doubloon. Oh, chat, Containment Hazard Assessment Team, please show Desk the glory of our new member emotes. If you are a member here in the chat, I believe Desk will require to see one especially of the new emotes. And LARP Site42. Yes, while that app is very useful, do pay attention. It is a paid app. And so I pay a monthly fee, it's a business expense, to use that functionality. Guys, has he answered my question? Intern Lizard, I haven't even seen your question. This is the first time I've seen your name this stream. Now, chat, don't forget to show the desk the other new emotes as well. Not just the glory of the desk emote. Also, desk, someone in the chat was asking if your pronouns are he, him, it, its, he, its, or however. How would you like the chat to address you as the desk of Alto Clef? Hey, Dr. Sherman, soon I'm going to upload a cosplay of mine that really looks like you, even the hairs. Can I send it to you? Yes. Yes, if you're going to cosplay me, please send it to me. That sounds pretty good. Hey, Doc Sherman, might be off topic, but how is Charlie doing? It's been a hot minute since we saw her. Yes, intern Bertha, Puppy of Interest 42, codename Charlie, is doing quite well. She's currently out on a field mission. We only got one visit from her last night, right at the end of stream. But we will wait to see if Puppy of Interest makes it to today's stream. A reminder, we are currently 45 minutes into this stream. And that'll bring us to our 2 to 3 hour stream. So there's plenty of time for Puppy of Interest 42, codename Charlie, to make it home to visit. We will see if that works out. Okay, I will. I still need to find the pics. P.S. I'm holding a katana. I don't know why. Well, intern Queen Forever, reminder, your site director did just this past Friday win a taser knife fight live on stream. So putting me in charge of a bladed weapon seems to be a wise choice. A good cosplay addition. Reminder, you can go back to the end of Friday's stream VOD if you wish to see the epic victory of Dr. Sherman's taser knife fight. Which, I will have you know, I discovered yesterday while I was doing the social media homework, following up with all the creators I met at the stream. Apparently, if you go to the social media for Open Sauce, the convention itself, on Friday, on both Threads and Instagram, the first photograph of their thread is Dr. Sherman's taser knife fight. I highly recommend, if you are on Instagram or Threads, to go to that thread, comment and tag me, and hype me up in the thread and my taser knife fight victory. That way, Open Sauce sees, oh wow, Dr. Sherman being in our post gets us numbers. We should maybe invite that guy as a creator next year. That is the kind of service that helps us out as a member of Mobile Task Force Psi 42, codenamed the Signal Boosters. And we thank you for your service. Do you have a link that I can share on hand? I guess I can try to find a Threads link. And I should save my Instagram up here now. It just happens to be I'm going to have to become much more active on Instagram. Unfortunately for me, I didn't use it very often. But of all the creators I was talking to at the convention and befriending and getting advice from, all of them were like, oh, what's your Insta? So I guess I'm going to have to be on Instagram to talk to these people in the future. So let me save my Instagram here on the front page so I can utilize it properly. Get my profile. Pull it down here. SCP Site 42 on Instagram. Save. And go to my reposts. So, here is the share link for desk. Where can I copy the link? Oh, I gotta copy it from up there, obviously. Desk, tell me if this link works. Furthermore, at the very least, I can easily show you all the post. So yes, here is Dr. Sherman's. Now, a fun fact, if you are a stage combat performer like me, then you would actually realize that in this shot, it looks like I am drawing, if not losing this fight a little bit. This is the moment where I lost my good arm and got my battle wound, because you can see that his blade, Johnny McSwole here, is coming over to my wrist, and this is the time where I lost a limb. Meanwhile, so you can tell that in this shot, I am about to lose an arm. But you can also tell that this fellow is at one arm and one leg, while I have both limbs and am just about to lose my first. So, I actually only lost one limb here, and this is the second round where I came out victorious and won the second round, meaning I won 2 of 3 rounds. We didn't even have to go to the third. So yes, even though this is me losing one battle, I overall won the war overall. The Florida Man, stage combatant dancer, did bring victory home to Site-42. Never underestimate your site director. Hot chip, I'll tank it. Taser knife fight, I'll win it. That's why I'm the boss around here. Researcher Amazing, thank you for your first super chat of today's stream. Please grab yourself a smoothie on your way past the commissary. I can't give gifts, so glitter bomb here. Well, since super chats keep it out of the general chat spam, that is also an acceptable method, and we thank you for your generosity. And chat, clean up that glitter bomb, please. Intern Dispo, thank you for sending a corgi to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure the chat found it adorable. Drift Spawn, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself some Pucky on your way past the commissary. And, since you didn't send a message, simply thank you for your generosity. Alright, Site-42 staff, I'm going to jump us back into the UIU file that we are going to continue to read. I'm going to do 2 sections for this next one. But before I begin it, as I saw someone say, and I'm just going to shout that out because I'm excited. Where'd it go? T-Rose, that Instagram photo is going to be such a cool art reference. I look forward to seeing cool art of Dr. Sherman's taser knife fight victory. Desk, we are currently in the process of reading UIU file 1973.05. Now, object description and capabilities. Funny, we already saw this in the event locale preface, but here we go again. So, case file 1973-05, report author Rory Coomhale, date filed November 9th, 1973, irregularity cross-reference, paranarcotic, addictive, transdimensional hotspots, alternative universe, immigration, wondertainment, Febris Pharmaceuticals, Emerald Cartel, 3 Portlands. Codename, Perfect Day. Physical description. Object is a thick and moist powder made up of wood shavings, hair, and the semen of an unknown species. Footnote. That leads to... Oh, no. The link of unknown species leads to SCP-4000. Okay, be careful. Capabilities. After taking this substance through an oral or nasal cavity, the user will, over the course of several hours in real time, experience a full day in an alternate universe. Its key difference being a lack of any governments or organizations enforcing a baseline level of normalcy. Frequent use of the substance is known to cause weight loss, incontinence, increased anger, paranoia, reduced thaumaturgic abilities, and organ failure. Additional notes. Under Deputy Director Redacted Bow's orders, the UIU's Chemistry and Alchemy divisions have begun mass replication of 1973-05. Yikes. Interjection. Section 2. Name, Felipe Delgado. Experience. I woke up on metal. If I had to say, I was high up. I could feel a sharp wind cutting my face, and there was only the sky above me. I was out of my wits, but I felt a need to make sense of things. I concentrated and managed to roll onto my side to get a better look at things. That's when I heard a clink. I had my arm again. No, not my arm. There was a prosthetic where it used to be. I was wondering if the same applied to my right leg. They must have supercharged the thing because when I was flexing it, as soon as the bottom of my foot touched ground, the leg had reoriented itself and I was standing upright. Now that I was up, I had the chance to examine my surroundings. Past the roof, I couldn't see anything. Not even clouds, just blue everywhere. Looked over the edge, blue still, all the way down. I was hit with the sensation that I was tipping over the edge, though I doubt my leg would have let me. So in fear, I rushed back to the middle and huddled there. But when I sat down, my butt didn't hit the floor. It hit something weird, some rounded surface protruding from the ground. I whirled around and there was a kind of metal orb right under me, and it had a hole in the middle, something you might have stuck a cable into. I don't suppose this was smart, but I tried to stick my metal bits into it. I was twisting my arm into the thing when there was a sudden hum coming from it. Well, I figured I must have done something right, so I took a step back and let the sphere do its thing. The ground below me had lines that weren't there before, glowing blue, all leading to the orb. Then as fast as it had come, the humming had stopped, and the blue had gone away. I just stood there for a couple seconds, waiting to see what would happen, and the humming did come back, but louder than before. It was like I could feel it vibrating through me. My prosthetics felt like tuning forks. I looked around to find the source, and off into the distance there was a little white dot. I waited for some time, the humming coming and going, until it was close enough to make out. It was a whale. And this word, a whale, links to a Serpent's Hand document called the Yaren Face Space Race. Codename Flying Whales. So a Serpent's Hand document is listed here. I stumbled backwards, not believing what I saw. I looked again, and not only was it real, it was getting closer. I crawled towards the ledge of the tower. I wanted to throw myself off. It seemed to be the only option aside from being crushed by the whale. But I just couldn't do it. I was a coward. I watched the whale getting closer and closer until it seemed seconds away, but then it just stopped. I was still. Even my heart was still. But then I swear it looked directly at me. I approached it, and it opened its mouth, and its great pink tongue rolled out. I felt as if it wanted me to grab onto its tongue. When I did, it began to move its tongue slowly backwards. I held on for dear life until I was safely tucked into its mouth. It was like a cavern in there, pink going everywhere. I was approached by these figures inside. I think they were my children? They were so big I didn't recognize them at first. I pulled them in for a hug, weeping, but they were just confused. In my vision, we saw each other every day, and they were just picking me up to go home. I believe Honduras was still my home. There would have been no reason to leave. As we embraced each other, the whale's many other tongues came in, putting us to sleep, and I woke up back in your facility. Notes. In 1962, Delgado paid smugglers to take him from Honduras to the United States. Once here, he found a job in construction, hoping to raise enough money to pay for his children, a daughter and a son, to be smuggled to the U.S. On September 23, 1964, he admitted himself into medical care, citing extreme pain on the right side of his body. He had developed deadly infections in injuries from his childhood, reopened by recently contracted scurvy. After much deliberation, medical staff had to amputate his right limbs to prevent the infection from developing further. After his hospital stay, he was discovered to be an illegal immigrant and was approached by the UIU. He is currently allowed to stay in the U.S. under the terms that he is willing to be a test subject under the UIU for minimal pay. His son and daughter remain in Honduras and are both now adults. Well, once again, that sounds like the UIU is actually following in our example pretty well. Good use of resources. Alright, that was 2 sections. We currently have 3 sections remaining, but I'm going to pop back over to the chat for some general Q&A. So, we are 1 hour to this stream. We have 2 to 3 hours right. Where are you guys, chat? What if SCP-096 goes inside of SCP-3008? Well, Intern Rivera, what do you think would happen? I feel like it would simply attack anyone who saw its face in there. There are survivor camps, after all, so it would cause a lot of chaos that way. Furthermore, if someone outside of 3008 saw its face, it would then sense where they are, making it easier to beeline to their location and get out of the 3008. Seems pretty straightforward to me. Hello, I am a fan. Intern Britain, that is fascinating. We seem to have a lot of talking fans inside the Foundation, and yet not that many of them have SCP documentation. Perhaps all of these talking fans, be they ceiling fans or floor fans, are on the log of anomalous objects. Question from L. Is Dr. Sherman secretly a genius for using chat as containment hazard assessment team? No, LARP Site 42. In fact, Dr. Sherman is not secretly a genius. Dr. Sherman is openly a genius. What if SCP-2521 was written on 682's flesh, but he enlarged to Intern Grand Mountain Cookie, you're trying to enlarge the 2521 entity's tattoo on 682. That way, it takes all of 682. But the thing is, 682 can evolve its body to be rather flat, to widen its length and width, so that it would not take up its whole body. No matter how much you tried, 2521 would not encompass its entire body, meaning only the parts covered in 2521 would be taken. Dr. Sherman, I've been meaning to ask you, are there any recommendations for cryptid SCPs or SCPs handled by the Cryptozoology Division? Intern Swirly, actually, I'm going to turn you in a different direction. Rather than either of those, I want you to go check out the Group of Interest Hub for Wilson's Wildlife Solutions. They are an anomalous wilderness reserve in the Pacific Northwest that have an agreement with the SCP Foundation to handle anomalous animals and cryptids that are of a low risk so that we don't have to waste resources on them. Wilson's Wildlife Solutions is a wonderful menagerie of strange animal anomalies. You should check them out. You will find them adorable. I know you, SCP guy. Yes, Intern Jizza, we are in fact... this is John SCP speaking, apparently. Intern username, what did I miss? Well, you missed an hour of this stream, multiple Q&A sections, and about half of the document that we're reading. You'll have to catch up in the VOD. By the way, how are you playing with your pen so good? Intern Cannell. So you have unlocked today's pen tutorial. So the pen tutorial is as follows. Hold pen between your fingers. Wiggle it side to side so it gets horizontal. Catch it in the next finger, boom. Horizontal, catch it in the next finger, boom. Go over the top, under, over, under. Reverse your direction. Practice it palm up. Gravity keeps the pen in your hand, makes it easier. Practice it palm down. Gravity tries to steal the pen, it makes it harder. Practice with the neutral wrist. And do it both directions on both hands until you're good. It just takes some repetition. In a couple of weeks, you should also be spinning your pen. It's a very fun fidget. It's a fidget toy for those who need a fidget toy wherever they are. You can always find a pen. This guy is non-stop. Well, Intern Ira, that is what my pinky ring says. It's mirrored because that's how front-facing cameras work, but that says non-stop. And until we have an SCP Foundation movie in theaters, I will never be satisfied. Can we get any of the Shermusical today? Well, LARP Site 42, I do believe you're going to very much enjoy the credit song for today. Just a thought. The UIU aren't UI useless for once? Intern 953, yes, I do see that the UIU in this document is doing a fairly competent job at containment. Intern Rocky, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Please grab yourself some nutrient paste on your way past the commissary. Site 13 stabilized, becoming part of our universe. Oh, Lord, we're going to have to clean up another one of those. All right, ready. Tau 5, codename Samsara. Get the Power Rangers ready to go. What is your opinion on SCPs like SCP-008? Intern Isaac, I'm going to need you to be more specific. What do you mean SCPs like 008? It is a zombie virus. I do believe keep it contained, please, so we don't have frickin' zombies around. That'd be nice. Intern Nixie. SCP Mobile Task Force Tau 5, codename Samsara, are a group of cybernetic Mobile Task Force agents made up from the flesh of a dead god. They are very powerful in manners that we often nickname them jokingly the SCP's Power Rangers. It's just an inside joke. As infectious. Well, Intern Isaac, I don't like infectious SCPs because they spread and make it harder contained. Not a fan. I like things contained in their boxes. Intern Isaac. I do have, in fact, multiple favorite SCPs, of which I talk about at the end of stream. It's a tradition around these parts. I tell you my favorite SCPs at the end of stream, which is in about 50 minutes to an hour and 50 minutes, depending on how much energy the stream has. But if you want to cheat and have me tell you them early, you can always donate, and in return, I will tell you my favorite SCPs. Or you can go to yesterday's VOD and watch the end, and you'll hear them there. Whichever way you want to do so, you have options. Dr. Sherman, throwback to when you dressed up as an IKEA employee. Are you thinking about doing another SCP cosplay? Just curious. Intern Bertha, it is something I have on my mind, especially after talking to a bunch of cosplayers at this convention I went to. I've got some inspiration in mind to bring out some more multiversal Dr. Sherman variants, as well as just getting some SCPs on the TL. I'm also trying to talk these other creators into dabbling in the SCP cosplay space. I think it'd be very fun. Alright, Site-42 staff, I'm going to run over to the UIU document and continue our reading. Oh, well, I am going to follow this last donor that came in right as I do so, and then continue the reading. Rocky, thank you for donating again to say, I defected from Serpent's Hand and joined Site-42. Well, yes, we look forward to your wonderful intel. I can't wait to see what you're willing to spill beans-wise when it comes to the Serpent's Hand. Puppet Boy, we have plenty of 049 cosplayers. I would definitely pick something a little more original myself. Alright. Operation Velvet Underground is the next tab of our UIU document. It has one section, and then the next section is very short. So I'm going to do two sections for this reading part. Starting with Case File, Operation Proposal for Operation Velvet Underground. Case File, 1973-05, Report Author, Deputy Director Redacted Bow. Date filed, September 13th, 1975. Irregularity cross-reference. Paranarcotic, addictive, transdimensional hotspots, alternate universe immigration, wondertainment, Phoebus Pharmaceuticals, Emerald Cartel, 3 Portlands. Section 1. Background. I hope you'll forgive the lack of formality present within this document, Director, but I found it entirely impossible to be impartial on this issue. It just spurs on my emotions. In 1931, our precursors, the American Secure Containment Initiative, gone but not forgotten, began the Transdimensional Hotspots program. Its function, to discover areas of high anomalous activity, and to then establish control over them. By the time of its dissolution in 1944, the initiative had cataloged over 50 of these locations. And with the charge of protecting American citizens against the occult now falling upon the shoulders of the FBI and its newly founded division, the UIU, so did the oversight of these hotspots. But the incumbent director, Matthew Dolby, not eager to see the mistakes of the initiative had made during the 7th Occult War repeated, decided to take a hands-off approach to hotspots. They were more or less allowed to govern themselves, provided they observed a vague sense of patriotism and did not break normalcy over the country at large. And how has that been working out for us? Little Esterberg flies the Polish flag in place of the Stars and Stripes. Boozleton doesn't worship Christ. They worship a god of jelly beans. 3 Portlands has become a veritable mecca for college-age radicals. Olive Hill has the highest juvenile mortality rate in the country, primarily because of a baby-eating witch that lives in their woods. Footnote: the baby-eating witch crosslinks to SCP-4530. Look what our bleeding hearts have given us. Monsters, perverse to everything we hold dear. It's high time to take the anomalous down a peg. Operation Section 2. 1973-05 is the linchpin to this operation. It all at once provides us a mirror into a world where we fail, and gives us our method to succeed. Its addictive and unusual properties have made it an interesting point among many of our allies. Febris and Sunnycare Pharmaceuticals are interested in using a form of the substance in future medications, diluted so as to give the user the generic sensation of being free rather than real visions. And our contacts in the underworld, be it from Spectre or the Emerald Cartel, believe those on the streets would be paying hand over fist for the real thing. Even Wondertainment is even taking a gander. Something about their new line of magic confectionaries. The fallout would be extraordinary. The whole anomalous world, be them rich or poor, would be hooked on our supply, and dangerous once we cut them off. They'd do anything to get it back. They'll kill each other for it, for another good trip. They'll probably find a way to reverse engineer it given enough time, but the damage will be done. Those left in power in their communities will be scared. The mayors and petty kings of these hotspots will welcome us so we can restore order. Our moots will become their judges, and anyone we don't want free, even if they were never on the substance in the first place, can be branded a criminal and stomped out. They will shove the keys to their kingdoms into our hands, sacrificing their autonomy for safety. Through chaos, the UIU will reestablish order. What do you say, Director? Are you willing to do what it takes for America? What the UIU needs now is a great man, and I believe you are him. Don't prove me wrong. Verdict. Operation approved. So the UIU is doing wow, not the first time the Federal Bureau of Investigation caused a drug war. This is all well within what I expect of this organization. Now let's take a look at the interjection, the next event of someone using the drug. Now this is Deputy Director Bo giving the drug a try. Let's see what their world looks like. Experience. I was on the gallows, a noose around my neck. There was a crowd gathered below me. Lizard people, living toys, androids, reality benders, communist stink apes. Just a bunch of glorified circus freaks. Death to humanity, death to humanity, death to humanity, they were chanting. All of a sudden, they went silent. A shapeshifter, their leader, I'm guessing, had taken the stand. He shifted through forms like water when he spoke. Judas, Genghis Khan, Napoleon, Jack the Ripper, Hitler, Stalin, Huey Newton, Uncle Ho, Satan himself. Here before your very eyes we have the last holdout to the new anomalous world. He refuses our gifts of change, of renewal. He holds on to the barbaric notions of freedom and morality. He is a danger, a mind uncontrolled. He approached me. Do you deny these accusations, sir? I did what any red-blooded American would do, and I spat in his face. Do you see, my kin? That is what the anomalous gets in return for offering man enlightenment. We get their scorn. If they don't wish for the carrot, they shall get the stick. Humanity reaps what it sows. They pulled the lever, and snap went my neck. Notes. Bo is the only member of the UIU to have volunteered to be a subject for these trials. He expressed extreme interest in 1973-05 and has taken the lead in all operations relating to it. Alright, there's one more section remaining, but I'm going to bring you to the chat for a general Q&A before we reach the grand finale. Now, before I do general chat, let me point out that the future that Deputy Director Bo is speaking thereof is exactly the kind of thing we at the Foundation worry about when people say, oh, why don't we let anomalies free in the world, in the general populace? Why don't we let people in the populace know about anomalies? Why wouldn't the serpent's hand be right that we can all live in hippy-dippy peace and harmony? Because once the anomalies are loose, humanity stops being normal, humanity becomes the aberration, and human civilization becomes what needs to be stamped out. If we don't want to be the minority, then we've got to maintain power. And if this bears any similarities to any real-world politics that you're paying attention to, I don't know what lines you may or may not be reading between. There's certainly no politics in the works of the SCP community. No deeper meaning there. Rosemary, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You have granted them 1 prestige rank and made them a 1-star team. Let's see if they can make them up to a 5-star team before the end of stream. Rocky, thank you for sending a gold doubloon to the chat. I'm sure they will spend it wisely. Intern Rosemary, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a sparkling water on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, do you have any advice on how to keep myself focused and alert while doing night observations on 053? Also, what are your thoughts on 053? Well, keep it the hell away from staff. It's not good for their health. Furthermore, I mean, if you're far enough to not be affected by 053, then you should just do whatever you typically do to keep focus and awareness. Possibly look into research on ADHD or autistic people to find out how to focus better. That's not really anomalous, that's just doing what you can to do a better job at your job. DJ, thank you for sending a 100 to the chat. I'm sure they will continue to keep it 100. Intern Rosemary, thank you for sending sparkles to the chat. I'm sure they'll appreciate cleaning up yet another glitter bomb. Intern Dinosaur Guy, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Dr. Wonder, Rocky, thank you for donating again to say, Dr. Wondertainment gets books from the library. That does not shock me. Some person perhaps. If there is a staff placeholder on the SCP that you are trying to write, then you should skip it and go on to the next one. It's that simple. Would the Foundation let Jurassic Park exist, or would they stop it? Intern McAvoy, we have a lot of dinosaur SCPs that we keep in containment. Furthermore, if we found out about InGen's work before they made it, we would certainly stop them. So I think one of the SCPs got out, somebody get mauled. Well, Intern Kai, now that you're the one who noticed it, you're the one who gets to lock it back up. So, happy hunting. Well, technically, dinosaurs aren't anomalous. They are in this day and age. Why aren't you allowed in the library, Director? Because the Serpent's hands are a bunch of losers. They keep yelling, "Oh, you're not allowed, jailer," and then moving the ways so I can't get in. Even with my super, super clever disguises. Intern Rocky, thank you for donating again to say, the tree screamed after we gave it human form. How did you make the tree human? What anomaly did that? And are you sure it screamed? I imagine if 4521 was turned into a human, it would still be very reluctant to scream. Have you tried the Clark Kent glasses trick, Dr. Sherman? Intern Tiger Claws. That was actually what was happening at Open Source Convention. A lot of people, because I was walking around in an SCP hoodie, or carrying some SCP plushies to make people know who I was, but it took a lot of people second glances because I wasn't wearing my lab coat. That's why when I go to MetroCon, I'm going to bring my lab coat so I'm easier to recognize. Director, is there anything you have planned to survive when day breaks? Intern Turku. The Daybreak's survival scenario is a real crapshoot. Because it's not like we get a warning. It's just when you are currently, wherever you are when that happens, you're done. If you're outside. So, if you are lucky enough to be inside away from the windows, and far enough inside that daylight can't reach you, and you have the resources to hold out, and suits to travel, and gear to travel without being able to see, because if you let sunlight through a visor, you will be liquefied. Very much, it's just a game of chance. There's not a lot of planning to be done. If I write a doctor for an SCP and post on the wiki, does that make the person official in SCP history? Yes, Journey of Games, that's how it works. Now, of course, if you're going to try and write an SCP, do follow protocol. Join the wiki properly, go through the green light process, write your SCP document with proper levels of critique. That way you write a document that stays on the SCP database, because if you skip the process, the likelihood of a new author is they will be downvoted off the site and deleted, at which point you will not be in the annals of SCP history. You will be deleted. Deleted! Rocky, thank you for donating again to say, humans feel pain better in human forms, so it was put in the femur breaker. We also got 106 back in containment. I mean, I don't know. It feels wrong if it wasn't a tree when it screamed. You kind of got to do these things the right way, otherwise it feels half-assed. I'm not sure I like that one. If I write myself as a doctor into an SCP story, would you call me doctor or do I need a membership? In this chat, if you are a member, you are a researcher, mole task force captain, or overseer. If you are not a member in this chat, you are an intern. Now, if you are someone who I know as an SCP researcher and content creator like Dr. Sumerian, that's a personal friend passed. That is a personal friend pass. But 99% of this people are interns unless they are members. That's just a containment hazard assessment team rule. It wouldn't be fair to everybody else. I found a new SPC called Verity. Intern Sickle. I did not realize that the Verity entity was a shark. I've heard a lot about this Verity, but I didn't realize it was a shark for the Shark Punching Center to handle. Interesting detail, thank you. Alright, Site 42 staff, I'm going to go ahead and finish this UIU document reading. Reminder, we are at 90 minutes into this stream, which means we have 30 minutes to an hour and 30, depending on the amount of energy the stream has. I gotta tell you, I'm feeling a little tired, so we might err towards the 2-hour stream today. So, the last section here is called Classified Under Orders of Deputy Director. Now, of course, it's the UIU. Their security is garbage, which is why we have access to it. Haha. Haha. Agent Rory Coomhale, bound in rope, rides on a dentist's chair. Coomhale and Bo have a conversation. Coomhale speaks first. I didn't do it, sir. Someone must have framed me, believe me. It was someone else. I've only been loyal to the cause, sir. Sir? Rory's son. Let me be perfectly clear. No matter what you say tonight, I am intent on killing you. There's nothing you can do to make the situation any better or worse for yourself. Why not be honest? Oh God. Oh my God. Can you do that for me? Friend. Coomhale tries briefly in vain to break free of his rope bindings. He sighs and then nods. Your partner, a Mr. Jason Hart, reported to your supervisor, a Miss Daisy Stevens, that from 1975 to just about today, you have been leaking sensitive information related to the ongoings of Velvet Underground to the terrorist organization known as the Serpent's Hand. Is that correct? Yes. And why did you go and do something like that? son. Are you serious? Come on, have you read your own reports? We're like comic book supervillains. I'll say the shit you write is some of the most pathetic lies I've ever had the misfortune of clapping eyes upon. They're not serious. They're the ramblings of a madman. Well, my friend, there's a country made by madmen for madmen. Do you think the director wants sane? Do you think he wants what's safe? No. He signs off on what makes him feel strong, what stirs the patriotism within him, what justifies his power. Immediate action is more enticing than moderation, and the Bow family delivers. He doesn't even need to hear my first name. The brand is enough. If you want my 2 cents, I don't think he believes in anything I write either. Then why would he sign his name under it? Paramax. Paramax links in the wiki to the UIU location dossier. Paramax. I'm unfamiliar with that, but you can check that out at your leisure. So, Paramax. Excuse me? Everyone believes that the UIU built Paramax, but that's not the truth. The UIU was built for Paramax. A black box penitentiary located in another dimension, built to contain the biggest threat to this country since the British. Magic. But it's not just for containing. It's for building. Building America. If you're going to kill me, don't take time to proselytize before. You're not getting it. Do you think a nation this large could support itself solely on its free population? Without Paramax, our experts estimate the strain of our own economy would have destroyed us by 1959. In Paramax, there lies an unwilling workforce of thousands of criminals. With their anomalous physiologies, they far exceed the capabilities of any baseline humans we have in our employ. When a coastline city is ravaged by a kaiju, the metallurgist among them can rebuild it in a day. When dissent among citizens become pronounced enough that revolution becomes a concern, our telepaths are there to correct them. Want to know why Johnson, Nixon, or Ford haven't gone the way of Kennedy? Because we have a team of psychokinetic inmates slaving around the clock to make sure they don't. A sizable chunk of our country's exports are produced by super speedsters we have locked up, working day in and day out. Not that they even have days in Paramax. We found them quite literally running drugs across the border. I don't get what this has to do with Velvet Underground. Just think about it. With the pixie dust, you can make everyone anomalous a criminal. You can lock every last one of them into Paramax. Good to know radicalism hasn't dulled your intuition. Well, since you've been such a good sport, I'm gonna let you ask me some questions. You'll tell the truth? Not the whole truth, most likely. But I won't lie. Did the serpent ever come to you? No, but I had the pleasure of killing those for whom it did. From what I heard, she seemed like an interesting reptile. Humanity's redemption in the eyes of the anomalous. Quaint notion. I even used her "humanity reaps what it sows" line in my testimony. Did you notice that? She'll win, you know. Good succeeds in every story. She told me our hope makes it true. Hope is a commodity, not a truth, my friend. I should know. We sell it countrywide. Next question, please. Are you even a Bow? Maybe not by blood, no. But in spirit, I believe I am more than worthy of the title. Next! What did you actually see when you took Perfect Day? Nothing. Darkness, can you believe it? That world had no need for someone like me. Do you know how it hurts to be rejected like that? Kumhale remained silent. Anything more you'd like to ask? No. I believe that's it. Well then. Bo claps his hands twice. The door to the dungeon opens, and a stout man in scrubs enters. He brandishes the syringe filled with liquefied 1973-05. Bo takes out a leaflet from his coat pocket. This gentleman here is Mr. Doctor. We got him as a gift during our dealings with Wondertainment, part of a whole line of little misters. Can your child not shut up about heart transplants, colonoscopies, and the like? Do they attempt impromptu surgery on you while you're asleep? We here at Wondertainment recognize your struggle and have devised a solution we feel is perfect for you. Introducing Mr. Doctor, your child's soon-to-be best medical pal. He comes with an actual PhD. We don't even know how he got it. And the Hippocrazy oath to do nothing boring. Wonder awaits. Order today. Puts the leaflet back in his pocket. They don't actually list a phone number or any other little misters. We figure he must have been a prototype. But what a fine anomaly he is. Mr. Doctor approaches the chair and then grabs on one of Kohale's arms. Listen, you don't have to do this. I'm on your side. Is he making you do this? Mr. Doctor pauses in contemplation for a moment. You're my best buddy! He stabs into a vein with the syringe. Much more of 1973-05 than a human body can handle. Coomhale seizes up and screams, but then falls limp. It's so beautiful in the other world, Bo. You should join us someday. I'll have to decline, son. He makes a final spasm and expires. Bo approaches the corpse before Coomhale's heart bursts out of his chest. It has 4 wings, all made out of wood. Bo grimaces as the heart flies towards him. It stops before his face, fluttering. Bo takes a pistol out of its holster and shoots the heart. It falls to the ground. End log. Okay. That is the end of UIU file 1973-05. My overall ranking of this article is I find it a great positive. I do like how it utilizes the Bo family of hardcore anti-anomaly work that they typically do. Also, I appreciate how they used a lot of actual government business that we typically do in the United States of America in the higher pataphysical narrative level above us in real life. Working prisoners to the bone, immigration issues, extrajudicial murders. Very true to life, both in a painful and accurate way. Good article. Good article, I think. Now, for the song it's based on, I cannot think of a song that encompasses this, except for some hippie drug anthem. What's that song? Do 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 do. I don't remember any of the words of that song, but it's a hippie anthem. Do 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 do. If the song title is that, and I look it up and that's the song, then I will call that a win that I was right. It's like gumdrops and cinnamon or something like that. Alright. Star of Krypton. Okay, the song was called Perfect Day by Lou Reed. So Perfect Day was the name of the drug, and Perfect Day is the name of the song. I did not know that song. I could have guessed that by the title, but I didn't, so that is a miss for me. Alright. But I did give it my upvote. If you are an SCP Wiki member and you enjoyed this, you can also give it an updoot. And if you don't, I guess you could downvote it if you like. That is your power as a member of the SCP Foundation. But I am now going to return to the chat for what I feel will be 20 minutes more of chat, general Q&A, maybe more if the energy really kicks up. But let me catch up with the donos that have come in first. Clef upgraded Pesterbot with a rail cannon. Help. Intern Rocky, thank you for the super chat and for the news. I look forward to seeing if Pesterbot can even fail with that upgraded armory. It is such a loser. It's hilarious. Hi, this is my first time joining live. Intern Skylar, welcome to your first live here at Site 42. We've been streaming for a year and 3 months and counting daily. And yet, the algorithm only brought you to us today. So I'm so glad you could finally join us. We stream every day. Make sure to hit that subscription bell to get notified when we go live. And if you are 18 or older, you may join the Site 42 Discord server to get the YouTube live alert roll that I ping at the end of every start. Or at the start of every stream. And it's a little more reliable than the YouTube ping. Bro, you're my favorite SCP YouTuber. Well, thank you. Intern Dawn. I appreciate your favoritism. We're doing our best in the SCP streets to make fun SCP content, to educate about the SCP community, and to encourage other creators to join us. Rocky, thank you for sending 10 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You have granted them 2 more prestige ranks, and they are now a 1-star team. Let's see if they can get further. Dr. Puppeteer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Please grab yourself some jujubes on your way past the commissary. So what's happening? Sorry I passed up my office for an hour. Don't know why. How are you doing? We're doing okay. We're celebrating the fact that the SCP Foundation ruined some AI models because when they scraped our data, their AI chatbots just kept regurgitating our language, and so they had to reset their chatbots. It was very funny. Crab Gaming, thank you for sending a doubloon to the chat. I'm sure they appreciate the spending money. Rosemary, thank you for donating again to say, Dr. Sherman, John from Communications want me to inform you that Site 17 would like to talk about transferring SCP-2113. What should I tell John? 2113, you said. The haunted Leopleurodon skull. Okay, well, I guess we can set up a proper containment chamber for that anomaly. Give us a week. It looks like it needs some special accommodations, but yes, once we get that chamber set up, we can transfer that just fine. It's a Leopleurodon, Charlie. A magical Leopleurodon. Thank you, Puppet Boy. That's exactly what I was thinking. Rocky, thank you for donating again to say, I'm oddly still let in the library, though defected the Foundation. It's really that weird. Maybe they're thinking they can woo you back. Don't defect. No double defectsies. Dr. Sherman, with the help of Dr. Lovelace, I've been working on a birthday present for you. Just a heads up, the staff might email you about it, spoiling it. Oh, well, that's very generous of you all. I'll try my best to be unspoiled if possible. Funnily enough, for those of you who are unaware, my birthday is coming up August 3rd, which happens to be adjacent to the MetroCon weekend in 2 weekends. So I will be both doing panels on the SCP Foundation at MetroCon Tampa, Friday and Saturday of the convention weekend, not this weekend, but the following weekend. And also just the whole weekend celebrating my own 40th birthday. And so if you happen to be in Tampa, Florida, you'll be able to hang out with myself and Toad King Studios of SCP Foundation After Midnight Radio, who will be present at MetroCon Tampa, partying it up. Rocky, thank you for sending 5 more stars to make the chat once again a 1-star team. Still with a prestige rank, though. That's nice for them. Rocky, thank you for donating again to say, can you do a reading on SCP-1730? It's a very long article. No. No, sorry, not now. I would definitely need to be in the quit my day job area of success of YouTube to have the time to do that. That's a big ask. Sophia, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You made them a 2-star chat. And you sent them a pretty, pretty flower. I'm sure they appreciate it. Verity says it knows everything. Should I trust it? Intern Sickle, the answer is no. Because if Verity truly knew everything, then it would be dead. And that is because if it truly knows everything, then it knows the inscription on SCP-6442. SCP-6442 is a thaumiel object utilized by the Foundation. Now, it's got a lot of very complex containment procedures, but the long story short is it is an inscription that is the most powerful cognitohazard that the SCP Foundation has ever utilized. If you know approximately 75% of the inscription, then you undergo complete brain death. Yes, 73% of the inscription. You must have a CRV value of 742 or higher to survive. Remember, it takes a CRV of 13 to survive SCP-2316. You do not recognize the bodies in the water. So a CRV value of 742 is damn near impossible. It is a logarithmic scale. As of 2023, we have successfully neutralized at least 8,000 omniscient entities utilizing SCP-6442. So, if Verity knew everything, Verity would be dead. Rosemary, thank you for donating again to say, my birthday present for you, Director, is that I'll take over any observation you asked me to do, but only once. Pick wisely. Oh, well, I'll keep that in mind for the MetroCon weekend while I'm traveling. I'm traveling for both the MetroCon weekend and then staying an extra weekend in the field to handle up some business on that side of town. I've got family and friends to visit, anomalies to contain. Jeff and I are going to take place in a Super Smash Brothers tournament. And so, you'll still have daily streams. I, to the best of my ability, will not break the streak during this trip. Rocky, thank you for donating again to say, I put Herobrine in the same world as SCP-4335. Interesting. I wonder how that is going to go. Dr. Sherman, what is your favorite cake flavor? Journey of Games, I am quite partial to red velvet cake with creamed cheese frosting. Intern Nicole, thank you for sending a doubloon to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will spend it wisely. Rosemary, thank you for sending 4 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team in order to make them a 1-star team with a prestige rank. Intern Dawson, thank you for sending a clutch to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure that it will come in, well, you know. Rosemary, thank you for sending 4 stars to make the chat a 5-star team. Chat, you just became a 5-star Containment Hazard Assessment team. Good work. Flarp, thank you for sending a happy poop to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they appreciate that for some reason. Is there an SCP that is so powerful it can kill SCP-6101? Intern Nicole, I would say probably not, since SCP-6101's first line of description is the most powerful SCP. But I mean, technically speaking, probably time. If you read the document, you'll know what I mean. Crab Gaming, thank you for sending 7 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You gave them a prestige rank and made them a 2-star team. And then intern Marie, thank you for sending sparkles to the chat. I'm sure they will enjoy cleaning up 2 more glitter bombs. I can't stop forgetting what is SCP-005. Go to medical, you're going to need some much better nestics then. Is the amazing digital circus an anomaly like SCP-3008? Intern Lily, I will answer this question, but I will request that you stop screaming in the chat. Please speak in a professional tone. We are a high classification secret organization after all. And no, the Amazing Digital Circus is not an anomaly like SCP-3008 because the Amazing Digital Circus is a virtual space that contains copy of brain cells. In fact, while it is anomalous technology, it's not actually nearly as advanced or anomalous as much of what we contain. Meanwhile, the SCP-3008 infinite IKEA space is a whole nother infinite dimension that is a much grander anomaly to speak. Jesus, that's some dark humor. Ah, okay. Yeah, you caught that, did you? Ah, we like to have fun here. Crab Gaming, thank you for sending 15 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. They just gained 3 more prestige ranks and are still a 2-star team. Rocky, thank you for donating again to say someone has given SCP-096 SCP-113 and it's happy. Huh. Of all the times 049 has taken the gender switching stone, I never imagined it would be 096. Well, I'm glad in that universe it's happy with that. Studio Spider, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Please grab yourself a chicken and waffle plate on your way past the commissary. Status update for Site 5. I've been trying to escape, but the exit is being blocked by SCP-729! First date. Oh, I just know you guys are going to be throwing that thing in the chat now that there's an emote for it. Oh, you monsters. Oh. Parted. Oh, gross. Oh, I hate it. Requesting mobile task force rescue? Yeah, we'll get you for that. Sheesh. Rosemary, thank you for sending a star to the chat. They're now a 3-star team. 1 star closer to being a 5-star containment hazard assessment team. Studio Spider, thank you for donating again to say, between trying to get past it and going back to the body pit, I'm weighing my options. Yeah, that's... I mean, maybe you can sneak past it. I don't know, maybe swimming in the body pit is the right thing to do. Containment Hazard Assessment Team, we currently have 7 minutes left in stream. 7 minutes, might I add. Started using the phrase, holy Uber driver Jesus, in regular conversation. The reactions are priceless. Yes, fun fact. During the panel on animation at Open Sauce, the panel between Alex Hirsch, creator of Gravity Falls, and I think his name is James, creator of The Odd One Is Out. The Odd One's Out. Odd One's Out cited Jim Davis, creator of Garfield, as an inspiration in their animations. And so during the behind-the-scenes meet and greet with Odd One's Out, because Alex Hirsch didn't come to that meet and greet, I got to tell Alex Hirsch, not Alex Hirsch, got to tell James, Odd One's Out, who already knew what SCP was, that SCP-7966 is Jim Davis, creator of Garfield Jesus. So I got to spread the good word of one of the SCP-G's at Open Sauce to someone who would be a fan. Crab Gaming, thank you for sending 21 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. They're now a 4-star team with 4 more prestige ranks. Very nice. Rocky, thank you for donating again to say, I find SCP-72... 1-J, but that's because the library. I feel like you just put the wrong digit on purpose, but I still get the same reaction to it because I know what you're talking about, even if you put the wrong digit on. I don't actually think there is a 721-J. Oh, there is a stupid SCP-721-J is adorable. SCP-721-J, codename A Stupid Dog Picture. SCP-721-J is an image of Dr. Lloyd Jenkins' dog redacted, hereafter referred to as 721-J-1. 721-J-1 is a visible mimetic agent that only affects individuals who have seen it in person. The effect causes the individual to customize their personal belongings with the stupid dog picture. That is such a high-quality stupid dog picture. Oh, yeah. The stupid dog picture. Fantastic SCP database. No notes. Oh no, I think I need that mug. Well, Memori, you can download stupid dog picture and then go to a mug customization place and stick it on a mug. You have that option. The important question is, there's stupid dog picture merch and can I buy it? I mean, guys, it's Creative Commons. You could start a stupid dog merch store. And as long as you credit the original picture and the original SCP, author and title, and you released your merch and that stuff Creative Commons yourself, you could sell Stupid Dog Picture merch at the Stupid Dog Picture merch store. Now, if you do this, I would think it's cool if you found the original author and sent them a cut. That way, the original author is getting some cut back from it. I think that would be a kindness. Legally, you don't have to, but I think it would be a dope thing to do, wouldn't you? Stupid dog! You make me look bad! Very nice reference, Memori. God, it's been so long I don't even remember exactly how the voice goes. Rosemary, thank you for donating again to say. Director, I'm here to tell you that there's bodies in the water, but only I can see them. I'm gonna head to Psych. I think I'm having a mental breakdown. Can't you see the bodies in the water too? No, there's no bodies in the water this time. None recognizable or not recognizable. Intern Cat. That is a very fine Girona you have there. Rosemary, thank you for donating again to say the bodies in the water are tasty. Sorry, that was Rocky saying that. Please don't resort to cannibalism. It goes against protocol. Affleck, thank you for your first donation of today's stream, as well as being a member. Please grab yourself some pizza rolls on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, angels have been found on this world. Yes, weeping angels send help. Oh, well, thanks to 173, we already know how to handle those. And also, they don't poop everywhere, so that's beneficial. I actually like them better. Less to clean up. Yeah, let's get those locked up, please. Send enough people that we can do some blink tests. Rosemary, thank you for donating again to say. But Director, what if that's the only way to get them to go away? What's the only way to get them to go away? Eating them? No, we're not going to do like the Egyptian pharaohs and eat them like beef jerky. That's weird. No cannibalism. Site 42 staff, we have made it to the end of stream, which means I will continue to finish up any donos that we do during the outro. But before we sign off, as always, I'm going to tell you guys my favorite SCPs. But of course, I'm not going to tell you the SCPs I personally wrote are my favorites. That would be cheating. But if you want to read the SCPs I wrote, you can go to the Sherman's author page in Site42 Hub on the SCP database. There you can see the SCPs I personally wrote, as well as contributing voice lines or sound effects to. And while you're on my author page, one tab over, you'll find a list of links. Links that people ask about very often, but then they're just so bad about actually going to find the links. It's so sad for them, but not for you. You, chat, are clever. You'll find those links. And when you do, you'll also have the option to become a Site42 Patreon patron or YouTube channel member to donate monthly. You can do a Ko-Fi or YouTube Super Chat and donate to them one at a time. Either way, direct donations are the quickest way to help out Site42 with the numerous projects we are trying to keep afloat. So we thank you for your generosity. And if you are part of the broke gang and you cannot donate, do not despair. We understand starving artists. We are an arts community after all. You can still help us out by doing a effort-based donation of your time as a member of Mobile Task Force Site42, codenamed the Signal Boosters. When you like, share, subscribe, comment, chat, make memes, shitposts, edits, out-of-context compilations, fan art, not just of us, but of the SCP projects we support, the SCP Wiki and its authors and artists, the SCP filmmakers, game devs, animators, podcasters, merch makers, cosplayers, etc. You are helping us to make bigger and better projects, spread us in the algorithm, more viewers, more likely to have people who have money to donate, bigger movies, bigger games, everything's better. So we greatly thank you for your service in spreading the SCP fandom alongside us. Corbeno, thank you for sending 2 dubs to the Game Hazards Assessment team. I'm sure they will take the dubs. Rocky, thank you for donating again to say, don't worry, the body's to the form of the Slender Man, due to me glowing up on creepypasta since age 7. So you're saying there's a bunch of Slender Man bodies that you are eating. This just keeps getting weirder and weirder. I don't think I like it. Crab Gaming, thank you for sending 6 stars to the David Hazard Assessment team. You gave them 1 more prestige rank, and they are now a 5-star team. Congratulations, Containment Hazard Assessment team. Now, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on that last one, it's a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 3999, 304, 308-J, Spooky-J, 5315, content warning, that's a rough read. So, Site42 staff, there's been another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. Intern Sophia, thank you for sending a glitter bomb to the chat at the very last minute. I'm sure they will enjoy cleaning up the mess afterwards. Deep in the shadows, we work to preserve the world you know from the worlds we observe. The monsters and the mysteries, the dark and the absurd, the dot in your periphery, we work to keep it blurred. It's imperative our presence is entirely under wraps, when just a single leak could mean societal collapse. These unrelenting entities weren't meant to be unchained. For your protection, we keep them securely contained. We're a cavalcade of catastrophic creatures in our care. Abominable objects, we've a plethora to spare. We've a lizard by some wizardry, impossible to kill. By blade or blast or bullet, the effect is simply nil. So come and take a look at all the horrors in our stores, but not at 096 unless you're into being gored. No, best to train your gaze upon that statue over there. You'll be a bloody haze should it ever stray elsewhere. Mind change due to anomalies, terminate all character qualities, hidden from the world, creatures left unchecked, secure, contain, protect, some won't leave your memories, hear the echo of their screaming harmonies, hidden out of sight, things you won't forget, secure, contain, protect. The credit song is Keter Qualities by Music Clyde, The Black Rose, and The Stupendium. Not bad raps for not really hearing that song in a long time. Be safe, be well, Site 42 staff. Oh, wait. Crab Gaming, thank you for sending 2 more stars. Resetting chat to a 2-star team. Right here at the end of stream. At least you get another prestige rank. Rocky, thank you for donating to tell everyone that the song was Keter Qualities. Very kind of you. So yes, please go enjoy Keter Qualities again if you want to hear the real thing. Secure, contain, protect. See you guys in the next video or stream.